there, dream chasers, career shifters, and seasoned professionals ready for their second act. Welcome to More Than a Lawyer, the podcast that's breaking boundaries and redefining success, one inspiring story at a time. I'm London.
And I'm Zita, and together we're not just lawyers, but we're navigating the landscape of modern careers, juggling passions, and pursuing our wildest dreams.
So, whether you're a millennial on the brink of a career pivot, a Gen Zer eager to explore diverse paths, or even a seasoned professional ready to try something new, this podcast is your roadmap to success. Join us as we dive deep into conversations with trailblazers who are doing more than just clocking in. They're crafting their own narrative, embracing multiple roles, and thriving in the pursuit of their passions.
So buckle up, because each episode is a journey filled with insights, wisdom, and a whole lot of inspiration. Get ready to shatter expectations and ignite your ambition, and discover that you're so much more than just one thing.
Exactly. So let's rewrite the rules of success together. Welcome to the revolution. I think we should get started with our amazing guest. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I was like drooling over all of the jewelry on the site, and then London also shared some of the new photos of the engagement. I'm like, I need to go. Where's my man at? Because I need this ring ASAP.
Well,
they're beautiful.
Now he knows where he can get it.
I'm gonna be dropping hints.
Exactly. Like, just look at this amazing design.
It's
that our
already
guest
done for you.
did.
You just have to go and pick it up.
Hello. Okay, well, let's get started. So, okay, everybody, take a beat. Let's get ready to be dazzled, because we've truly got a remarkable guest joining us today. She's someone that I couldn't be more than thrilled to have as our very first guest, because she not only worked with me at my prior company, and she still is there. So, but she also holds a special place in my heart because we have the same birthday. So every year we're just like, hey girl, happy birthday.
Twins.
Exactly. We're like kindred spirits. It's like, when they say iron sharpens iron, it's like, oh yeah, I see you. I see you. I salute you. So without further ado, I just want to introduce our lovely guest, Pamela Adewoyin. I hope I get the middle name. Adewoyin James. She has an amazing jewelry design company called Lola Aid, which we'll get to some fun facts later. But just so you know, I've actually worn her pieces on a very special day. So we'll talk about that as well. But I am just excited to celebrate her, because she's a powerhouse. She's a badass. She's a mom. She's a loving wife. She's doing all the things, and somehow she's still a lawyer. I don't know how she's doing it, but I guess we'll find out today. So welcome, Pam.
Hello. Oh, I love the applause. Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Excited, to learn more about both of your backgrounds and to share a little bit about mine.
Yeah. No, we love it. So I guess we'll start off with our first question, because everybody is always curious, what's behind the name Lola Aid?
Yeah, so I'll actually tell you. So my full name is Pamela Lola Adewoyin James. So it looks like Lola Aid, but it's actually pronounced Lola Ade, and it's a part of my name. And it means wealthy crown in my native language. My family is Nigerian, it's Yoruba, so the name does have meaning. And it's interesting because when I started my business, I've been making jewelry for well over a decade. But when I officially launched my own website off of, a third party seller platform, that was in 2016. And I was wondering, should I name it after myself? It's a part of me. But fast forward, knowing that Lola Day means wealthy crown, I hadn't at that time gotten into fine jewelry. And if you actually know the anatomy of a diamond, a piece of it is called a crown. So it's just crazy, in my culture, we believe a name holds significant meaning, and it's my mom, I don't know if they knew when, they gave me that name at birth that I would end up working in jewelry, but it's just so crazy how things come full circle.
Oh,
So that's the
The
origin of
Lord knew,
Mulan.
so that's why he gave you that
exactly.
name.
I know.
Perfect, perfect.
It's so fitting too. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, as you say it again. I'm like, as you say, I'm like, wait, that's way prettier than
I
how I
know.
said it.
So it's Lala, like lullaby.
Oh, Lola.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lala, and then
Lola.
Ade. Yeah.
Ade. Oh, I love the
Mhm.
name
So Lala
Ade.
Ade is the
Lola
name of my
Ade.
business and
Oh,
part of my middle and maiden name.
love it.
Love it too. So, how do you balance your time between practicing law and running your jewelry line? Because I know both are very demanding.
Ooh.
So, yes,
Yeah,
share the
it's my
secrets.
I just say coffee and concealer. Like I'm tired.
The two C's.
I love
I
that.
am tired. I'm not even going to lie to you, like having littles, like it's a wild journey every day. I'm like, oh man, I am so tired. But um it stems from just joy. Like I have always wanted, not to sound like one of those people, but I've always wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. Like since I was young, like I knew 100%, like I want to make my way to Los Angeles. I want to work in entertainment.
Love it.
And it was truly a dream to be in the position I'm in, work on the types of deals, that I've had the chance to work on and just be in the rooms. And at the same time, when I started making jewelry really for fun, like I was just, this is when I was in law school and like I was stressed like I was stressed and I'm self-taught, so like I literally taught myself from YouTube. I bought some physical books, like I have some books in my office, and I was learning about different clasps and wires. Like it
That's
making
incredible.
jewelry brought me joy, but it was a piece of me that I didn't really share with other people. And if it's for someone like myself, I come from a cultural background where it's like be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
be X, Y, and Z. And it's funny because yeah, I am a lawyer, but I still love the creative space so much. And it took me a long time to embrace the fact that like I am a multi hyphenate, and that's okay. People used to ask me when I would make something like, "Oh, where'd you get that necklace?" And if I was in New York, I would say, "Oh, I bought it in a boutique in LA." And if I was in LA, I would
Oh,
say, "Oh, I bought it in a boutique in New York." Like it was always
oh,
the other side because I just didn't feel comfortable owning up to that side of myself. It was like, I'm known for getting really good grades or like being a commencement speaker. And it's like, wait, having to have conversations about the creative space was uncomfortable for me. And I felt like
yeah,
people would ask me those questions like, oh, but aren't you a lawyer? Or, oh,
right,
are you going to handle my case? Like, am I
right.
going to have this conversation before I was in entertainment? It's like, am I going to be talking to a judge about, trial and say, oh, when people ask, what'd you do over the weekend? Like, yeah, I had pop-up shops, but I'm not telling you that. Like, I don't want to have this conversation.
Oh,
But I'm at the point with my business and my legal career, I still don't really talk about it. I won't voluntarily mention it,
right.
at work or with anyone. It's just, it feels like they just exist in two separate worlds,
Yeah.
but it really is like the joy of doing both that keeps me going. Like I love closing deals. I love negotiating things. I love using my very expensive law degree.
And you're
But
a
at the
boss
same
at it, so it makes sense.
Thank you. I'm like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, my business really was my first baby, and learning, without a blueprint, trying to figure out how to watch this thing grow. And, I essentially like gave it life and trying to figure out the ins and outs. I didn't go to school for jewelry design. I didn't go to school for
Right.
running a business, really.
Wow.
And every day is a new challenge, but it's the customers that like make me so happy, and I love getting feedback and hearing like, oh, I wore it on this day, or my partner said this about it. Like when people come back, that's what makes the difference between being a major retailer and being a small business. Like
Mm-hmm.
hearing those stories, I really do a happy dance. Like when I get an order
Oh,
and I see like a new territory, I'm like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. I
I
actually
love
just
it.
recently found out I had been tracking all the states and territories that I'd received orders in my business,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one state that I could not find an
Oh,
order from all these years. And it would probably be like a trivia question.
I was like, what state? Now I need to know.
North Dakota. I
Oh
was like,
my
somebody
gosh.
in North Dakota needs to order from me. And
Wow.
this last weekend, I saw an order from North Dakota, and I don't think I was like jumping.
Oh
I
my
was so
gosh.
happy. And I'm
I
like, this
love
person
that.
doesn't even know the joy that they brought me, but I can officially say, like, I have had customers in every US, state and
That's
16
huge.
countries,
Oh
and
my
like that
God.
is the joy
That
that
is
makes me go.
freaking huge. Oh my gosh.
And I'm so happy that you touched upon like just being comfortable about talking about your creative, passion and like your business, because I think, I felt that way too. And I think many others feel like that. Like, so often society tries to put you in a box like, okay, you're a lawyer, so like you can't be
Mhm.
this, or you're a doctor, so you can't be
Mm-hmm.
this, or you're a producer, so you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
like, we are meant to be, especially as women. We can do all things and we can be great at all things. So I
Right.
think that that's definitely important, is just getting comfortable with being,
Embracing
yeah,
it.
embracing it. Exactly.
And you said it best, Zita, when you were like, it's our birthright. And I was like, yes, we should start thinking that way because
Yeah.
it's like, I hate when people put us in a box. It's like, with that movie, it's like one of my favorite movies, I think Dirty Dancing, when they're like, oh, no one puts
Puts
baby
baby
in
in
a
a
corner.
corner.
And I was like, well, no one should put us in a box because as women,
Agreed.
we already are having multiple lives. Like we're CEOs of our household.
Mhm.
We're women first. We're employees somewhere. We're family
Mhm.
members, in our homes, and we're likely mothers, like the two of you. And it's like, hopefully one day me. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, that alone is 50 million jobs
And
and
in this,
unpaid
I
jobs.
was gonna say, and in this economy,
Yeah.
Yeah. You better have some jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
You better
You
have
need
a business.
you need to have some
exactly.
business. Okay. So I
Right?
love that. And I'm happy that you found that confidence to just do it. And I'm happy to
Yeah.
hear that you're global. That's amazing.
Yes. And it makes sense because I mean you're a global citizen, so it's like, oh, it makes sense that your business would. But I wanted to share a fun fact with our audience. So Pam, without her knowing, actually designed my wedding earrings. She gifted me earrings for, I believe it was for my birthday, and I was just like, these are too expensive looking to like wear in any like regular occasion. And so, of course, the day of my wedding, when they're like, "Oh, which earrings?" and I was like, these. Yes, please." I've been
Something
exactly
new.
something new, and it's also from a
I know.
friend. Like she designed them. I'm like, this is such an honor to wear on my wedding day, and it's just like I loved when people were asking me like, "Oh, where'd you get your earrings?" I was like, "Oh, of course." I was like, the designer's here at my wedding, so you
I
can
was
meet her."
I was tearing up.
I
I was telling my
love
husband like, oh my God, look, look, look,
but
look.
that
I
just
was it's a moment of joy.
oh
You didn't have to do that, but like you don't know
oh
what that means to me. I really
yeah.
appreciate it because when you start your business, I
Yeah.
remember seeing something on like Instagram, these Instagram quotes, right? It's
Yeah.
like your friends and family will not make you rich.
Mm-hmm.
So I have tried to like keep it in my mind and not be offended. Like if my immediate friends like don't support, you know what? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to only be selling to my
Right.
friends and family. Like if you want some jewelry, you should
Yes.
definitely come to me.
Hugs.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like hopefully we're able to create like a product or a service that
Yeah.
can be outside of our immediate circle. So it is
100%.
cool, and I consider it an honor when people, that you do actually know decide to support your business. It means a lot.
Yeah, but I did think it just speaks volumes to your designs because it's like whether you were my friend or not, I was gonna wear those earrings because they were bomb, and I was like,
They did look good. I saw the pictures.
yes,
Yeah.
I was like, and I know they're one of a kind, so I was like, oh yes, please, thank you very much. I have custom earrings. Like, who could say that? You know what I mean? That's just not. Sometimes people are gifted something from like their family member or like an heirloom, but it's like when you don't have that, that's even more meaningful. That it's like from your like someone you're close to, you're connected to the designer, and I feel like jewelry is as much a a brand statement as like the clothing that we wear. It's communicating how we're feeling, and I felt very beautiful that day thanks to your
Mhm.
design. So I was like,
And you look beautiful.
oh, thank you. But I'll let you take the next question.
And I think she kind of also touched on the answer to this, but it would be great just for like the listeners to hear the full responses. Just like if you've received criticism about kind of, you know, doing your creative business on the side as well as being an attorney, like how do you handle that and like navigate that if you have received that criticism,
You
whether it
know
be
what?
from your family or like, you know, coworkers or just
Yeah.
people who are like, you know,
People are
following
gonna
you.
hate. They're always,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah, I won't call it criticism, but I'm very, very protective of discussing my business in like a corporate setting. Like I said, like I won't voluntarily bring that up, at work often.
Right.
It's more people will come to me when they find out. It's like, you didn't tell me, X, Y, and Z. And the reason why I don't is because sometimes people have preconceived notions about, what you're working on outside of the office.
Right.
And truthfully, some of your coworkers like may not really be in support of,
Yeah.
of what you're working on.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I want at work to be judged or reviewed based off of my performance in the office, my
Right.
performance tied to my role,
Right.
not tied to things that are happening outside of the office. Because what I find is, if I decide to have like a photo shoot or something happens with my business and then I show up to work, are you going to be like, oh, does she look tired because she was, doing whatever for her business?
Right.
Well, guess what? I could also be tired because I have kids. Like,
Right.
I could be tired,
That
because
part.
like it rained last night or just insomnia. And I don't like to give people any ammunition for things that really like it doesn't. At the end of the day, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job well. I get things done regardless of what is happening, whether it's my business, my personal life, etc. So I I don't call it criticism, but it is awkward. I remember going into the office, and this was shortly after I had posted that my business made it into Oprah magazine. It was
That's
the
awesome.
last physical print issue that she had, and I had kept that secret in for so long,
Oh my
and
God.
my coworkers found out about it, and I remember people being like, "Why are you here? Like, I'm surprised you're still working here. Like, I thought, that you were gonna quit." And I'm like, "Well, maybe I like have an income. Like, I
Right.
just those are
Again, this
conversations that,
economy.
I know. And like what like you actually like your job. It's rare when
yeah.
people actually enjoy their job. So it's like cuz I
So
like
those
it.
that those things it gets awkward because then I'm like, oh, that's why I don't really like to have these types of conversations.
Mm.
So I really just try to deflect. I have passions in both, and people have honestly asked me several times like, when are you gonna quit? Um, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go all religious, but at the end of the day, like
Mhm.
I have goals in mind for both my business and for my corporate career, and
Mhm.
but I may have plans, and like
Right.
man proposes, God disposes, right? So
Yes, I love
I
that
don't know
quote.
what the future will hold for either one, whether it's my professional career or my business. All I know is I'm gonna give my all and see, what happens.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because I think that's the purpose of this podcast is like we want to celebrate people like you that are doing more than one thing and doing both of them well. Actually, it's not just like, oh, doing more than one thing. It's like you could suck at both of them, but like people that are doing them well, those are the people we should be celebrating because it's not an easy task. Like you're sleep deprived. You're also like a mom and a wife. So it's like you have other roles, but it's like society doesn't give you guys your flowers enough, I think, because instead they're just like questioning like how is this getting done. It's just like it's not for you to know. It's just like I'm doing it, I'm getting it done, and
Yeah.
celebrate me or salute me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
why do you have to question everything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's true.
and I just want to know, like, okay, because you told me your little secret earlier this year about the engagement rings that I am so excited about. I was like, are we allowed to discuss this now, or like, what's the
Yeah.
plan with that? Please share.
Oh, sorry. I totally went straight in.
I know.
I like that. I found my ring.
I know. She's like,
London showed me. I was like,
oh,
this is
I
my
know my
ring.
designer now. It's like, okay, great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's funny. I haven't posted anything about it,
Yeah.
publicly on my business page, and like I've kept it pretty close to the chest so far. But a part of my goal this year is like stepping out, right? It's
I
like
love
it
that.
doesn't make any sense. I've been interested in fine jewelry for years, like launching wedding stuff has been on my agenda honestly since 2020, and then COVID happened.
Wow. Oh,
So with that, it was like, how can I do this? So I pushed it, pushed it, pushed it. But working in the fine jewelry space has been a passion of mine for a long time. The ability to be tied to something, a milestone moment, like, a proposal, a wedding,
yeah.
to create a piece that, people can hopefully wear like for the rest of their lives. And
Yeah.
that means so much to me. And also a big part of my why is I'll ask you guys, I'll ask you this question, right?
Okay.
If you can know, out of the top 20 natural diamond producing countries,
Ooh.
globally, how many of that top 20 are in Africa? How
I
many
would
would you guess?
I would think at least 15. Like
Yeah, I'd say the
the
majority.
majority for sure. Like
Okay, and now
if
I'll
not the
tell
top 20. I feel like the top 20 should all be Africa to be honest,
sounds
but
like 18 out of the top 20 are located in Africa, right?
wow.
Over $10 billion worth of carats
We
come
need to
from Africa,
reclaim
come
Yes.
from
our
Africa
jewelry.
every year, right?
Oh
On
my
average, 10
god.
billion.
Oh
Now,
Jesus.
how many African fine jewelry designers do you know?
0.
0. You're the first.
Literally.
I'm like you're literally the first and I will spread like the
Yeah.
news to everybody that
Well,
I know.
for me to know, like, as an African, a proud African, by the way,
Yes.
and just, the more I did research and just like working in the jewelry space, I really started this because there is no one that I knew of that I could find readily available that
Right.
looked like me. And I find that so crazy because this is a resource that is literally coming from the continent. A majority of the countries that
Oh
are
my god.
providing this, right? It's like, and that top 20 produces 99% of the carats
Oh
in
my
the world. And the fact that, like, most people cannot name an African fine jewelry designer that is working with diamonds. So to me, I was like, the time is now.
Yeah.
And listen, whatever people decide to choose, whether it is a natural diamond, a lab diamond, which I'm a huge proponent of, moissanite, or whatever other gemstone, like, I want to have the ability to help you find and build like the not just the engagement ring of your dreams, but later down the line, like tennis necklaces, etc. Like
Yes.
I really black women deserve luxury, okay? Like
Hello.
Amen.
Yes.
luxury items. And when you think of like the top retailers, etc., all these people that are major players in this space, it is such a hard industry like to break into and to make a mark. And I'm so passionate about this engagement ring line and just creating beautiful pieces of top quality with stones that are not just conflict free. And we could have a whole other conversation
We're going to have
Ooh.
to bring you back.
I
Yeah,
know.
bring you back.
like a whole other conversation about like conflict free is not good enough. I want responsibly sourced stones. And
Ooh, I like that.
because there are being a lawyer, right? Like knowing and reading laws and like policies, etc. When it comes to that entire market, you realize like, there are some gray areas, as I would like to call it, that
Yeah.
make me uncomfortable as an African. And I
Mm-hmm.
know I want to ensure, like, the goal with my fine jewelry line
Mm-hmm.
is I don't want to take from Africa, I want to give back.
Oh,
So a
love that.
percentage of every sale of engagement rings is going to go towards Africa. I'm going to be donating to Global Waters Project, and that is to help
Yes.
build wells and provide water and resources for those areas that are heavily impacted by mining operations. So
Mm.
that's a big aspect of like the side of the business that I'm launching is like, no,
Love that.
this is such a milestone moment in your life, but I want this to be twofold. I want it to be a positive experience for the people, that end up getting proposed to, but also to
Yeah.
know that every purchase like tied to this is helping to change the lives of people that, have been hugely, hugely impacted by
Mm-hmm.
this industry. So I'm so passionate about it. Like the bringing good
Yeah.
is what I, want to help instill with my business.
I love
Um,
that. It's like your intent is so pure that your impact is going to just be like so much greater because it's all about like the intent first, right? Like you're not just designing just because you one like designs. It's and because you like jewelry. It's just like no, you're also like, "Oh, let me do some good. Let me marry my brand with a purpose, with something that's meaningful." And I feel like for me, that just makes me even on the outside, not even just being your friend, but like wanting to purchase your designs because it's time for like our dollars to really like speak for what we value. And I feel like you said, you don't want to continue taking from Africa. It's like we want to give back and celebrate Africa, right? So it's like with our dollars purchasing your designs and that are freaking flawless. It's like not only are we wearing something beautiful, but we're also being able like to have an impact and give, which is huge, which I think every brand should honestly do. I mean, once Tom's showed us the way of that one for one, it's like why don't more brands do that? You know what I mean?
Right, right. No, why don't
Yeah.
they do that? You know what? When you talk about like the impact of our dollars, like I
Yeah.
always think about pre 2020, right? Like pre
Mm.
George Floyd. Because pre
Mhm.
George Floyd, no one was checking for a majority of the black businesses, the small
So true.
businesses, like no one was checking for us.
Mhm.
And that's why I said, like, when I started my business, I would scroll through all these jewelry companies and I would have to get like to the bottom of their page to maybe see one black hand,
Ugh.
one black model,
Ugh.
and I truly did not see myself represented in any of these brands. And this is
Mm.
something that people wear all the time. Like it has
Right.
utility. You're wearing this jewelry on a daily basis a
Yeah.
majority of the time. And it's like, but I was never thought of when it came to what this
Mhm.
business look like, what that brand looks like. Now there's a dash every once in a
Right.
while, there
A little
there's a dash,
sprinkle,
and I
razzle
wonder,
dazzle.
yeah, a little razzle dazzle. Like, is this authentic or is this purely just, for marketing purposes? And that's
Right.
why, with my business from the outset, I chose, African models that were
Mhm.
dark skinned, that had short, natural
Mm.
hair. Like,
Love that.
because growing up as a kid in Nigeria, seeing those women walk around in the markets, like in the village, etc., they were the
Mhm.
epitome of beauty to me. Like
Yes.
beautiful, dark, chocolate, flawless skin, just the texture of the hair, everything. And I never saw that represented
So
pre
crazy.
George Floyd.
Right.
Again, I say now there's a little razzle dazzle, but that is an authentic part of my brand is
Mhm.
I always want, especially, a black woman like myself, to
Mhm.
come to my page, to come to my business and feel like they are not an afterthought. Because our
Love that.
dollars matter,
Yeah.
Yes.
inclusivity is important. And I'm not talking about inclusivity just like in makeup ranges.
Right.
Like, I want inclusivity for us to be included, you
Yes.
know? I have felt as though we were ignored for a long time, which is why I love seeing the all the posts about like, black women in
Yes.
luxury and,
Yes.
we deserve,
We
girl.
too. And you're contributing to that. Like, ooh, as you speak, I'm just like, yes, you're right. Like, it's like as women, we're raised to be so humble. So it's just like, oh, yeah, it's an afterthought sometimes for ourselves of like the
Yeah.
luxury. But you know what? I'm going to embrace
No, embrace
it.
it.
Yeah.
I want all women to truly the wealthy crown. Like you are it. You are bomb. Like you work hard. You deserve everything that you want.
Yeah.
Get it.
I love
I'm
that.
gonna go purchase some things now after this. I feel
I know, right?
I feel nice and worked up.
Exactly. And you're so stylish. Like, oh my gosh, you should see Dina in the office. She's always a trendsetter. I'm like, okay, I'm inspired by your look. So I'm like, okay, well,
I mean, like she said, we work hard.
we
It's like
work
you can't take
hard.
it with you.
Exactly.
Now I have a baby, so I have to be a little bit more conscious.
Right.
There's always a trade off, but it's like
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Mhm.
So I guess we want to ask, what do you hope to achieve with? I'm gonna say it the correct way now. Lala Ade. Did I say it right? Or
Lala Day.
Lala Day. Oh gosh, you make it sound so easy. Okay, what do you hope to achieve with Lala Day in the future, both personally and professionally? Because I mean, you almost basically explained it. Like, it seems like you're doing it right now. The fact that you're contributing to the good in Africa, you're bringing something back, you're celebrating, and you're, a reflection of someone who is from the continent, from the
Yeah.
country, like, and designing the diamonds. So, but I want to, you to say it in your own words, what you're
Yeah.
hoping to achieve.
What what I want, you know what? I will say I have been fortunate. I have made it this far without a PR agency, without a marketing team, without like a sales team. It has purely been word of mouth from what I like to call, because I'm from the Bronx, regular, degular people, okay? Like,
I love it.
like Cardi said, regular, degular, like from everyday people just like speaking my name in rooms that I would not ever imagine. And that is how I've grown to this point. So what I would want to see, and I'm speaking prophetically, will happen, is Lola Ade and the fine jewelry line is going to become like a household name. If I can provide the same exact, diamonds and solitaire ring, pave, bezel, like, you name it, that you can find at these big box stores. If I can give you the same exact thing and I can price match,
Hello.
I'm like a price match, or maybe even, get you a better rate because I don't have as huge of a markup and, overhead compared to these other places. Like, I want you to come to me because what we're working on doing, I want to change lives. Like, I look forward to being able to broadcast like how many water wells we have built in Congo, in Botswana, in Nigeria, in Cameroon. I look forward to being able to publicize like how many books or sanitary pads we've bought for young girls in each of those regions, and all from purchases that are changing, your lives, but also the lives of these communities in Africa. Like, that to me really feels like I would have made it. Is when I'm getting to that point where literally like we are listing all of these things when I have pictures and videos of the impacts that we are having with jewelry that people are wearing every day. I want it to be love on both sides.
I love that. Love
That
on
would
both
make me happy.
sides. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have our full support, and
yes.
they say when you see a woman, she's never alone. She got the
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
city behind her, so we're definitely going to be
Yeah.
spreading the word. I know
I
I've already
appreciate
started dropping my hints on my
I
own
mean, yeah,
site.
you've given me
Oh,
Yeah,
chills in
we
this
can't.
interview. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's very exciting.
I thought I
uh,
knew, and now I've learned even so much more.
no, I appreciate that so much. You know what? This industry, it's such an uphill battle, right? If you think about the jewelry industry, there's generational nepotism. You
Oh,
hear often like, oh, I'm a third generation jeweler. Great. I think that's amazing. Like, you are so lucky to have had like your family pave the way for you. I did
Right.
not have that. Okay.
Right.
Like, I'm the first person in my family to be born in the United States.
Wow.
Like, when you talk about not having a blueprint and having to figure this out, like, and in the industry, a lot of it is based off of referrals and people like it. I have, it's been a journey to say the least. Like,
Wow. Oh my God.
it has been a journey, and I do have hope though, by this time next year, like, I'm gonna be able to say, like, yes, Lola Ade is in like these top lists and these Brides magazine. We're in Vogue. We're featured this time, for our engagement rings. Like, we're gonna break barriers, and it's all gonna come from ground level support.
I love it.
That's what
I am
I'm looking forward to.
tuned in. And this time next year, I'll have my ring.
Yes, we're claiming it.
Yeah.
We're
Come
claiming
on,
it.
manifestation. Yes.
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 And I will design it.
Exactly.
Yes. That's the only ring I'm wearing.
Yeah,
so,
that's the only ring I
it's
want
like,
as my
yeah.
upgrade. So we're gonna move on to our lightning round because our producer just told us we only have 5 minutes left. So really quick, we're gonna just say a few phrases and then you just give us 1 to 5 words.
Ooh.
Lola Ade to me is
Joy.
oh
Having
It's
it all
joy.
means
Health and wealth.
ooh yes queen. A fun fact about me that you may not know.
Um, I can make jewelry out of anything. Yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
I was featured on CNN Africa and a few publications for making jewelry out of raw fruit. If you check out my personal Instagram page and scroll down,
I
you'll
will be
see I had a
scrolling.
little photo series of, um, yeah, I made jewelry with raw fruits and vegetables. The
Oh
series is
yes.
called Raw.
Oh yes.
wow.
Wait. If you want to share your Instagram handle, you can right now.
Yes, please do.
Yes. So, my business Instagram is Shop Lola, Lola Ade, Ade. So it's at Shop Lola Ade.
Love it.
Yes, can't wait to see. Last one. I want to do more.
Engagement rings.
Yes.
Yay!
And then truly last one. How was your experience on the podcast? Is this needed? Yay or nay?
Absolutely. Yay,
Yay.
yay, yay. It is needed. And salute to the
Oh.
multi-hyphenates and those that are both corporate and creative. Like,
Oh, I love it. The season,
Yes.
the seas,
Yes,
corporate
yes,
and
yes.
creative. I mean, we have to thank you. We salute you because you were not only inspiring, you were not only yourself, but you kept it real. It's just like, I feel like hearing these nuggets, it inspired me. Like, I was like, oh, I want to just like come and be like your assistant one day just to see you in the shop. It's just like so inspiring. I'm like, you actually made something tangible that's probably going to be a family heirloom for the rest of people's life. Like it's going to outlive all of us. You know what I mean? Like that's incredible. And like your daughter will have it, hopefully your son.
yeah.
Like that's freaking amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you finally
Thank
because
you
I've
for
heard
having
all of the
me.
wonderful things. And
Yes.
I'm sure you'll be hearing from both of us.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you for having me. And
Oh.
everyone, feel free to check out
Yeah.
lolade.com.
Yes,
Yes, that's what they need to be doing like right now. If they weren't doing it while we
Literally.
were talking, it's
Yeah,
like do it immediately because
yeah,
one of a kind. And like she said, she can price match or you never know what else. So
yeah,
like
yeah. Hit me up,
yeah.
lolade.com. Thank you
Yes.
so much,
Thank
Thank
ladies.
you so much for your
you.
time. This was amazing. And say hi to the fam for us.
I will. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So you have had a taste of our very first episode. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's just like L to the Z every week.
I love that.
Yeah, so I guess we're hopefully, you were inspired by today's conversation and be sure to tune in next week where we'll have another special guest show us how cool it is to do more than one thing and or make that leap or pivot. After all, ladies and gents, we are so much more. So, we're more than a lawyer.
Yes, yes. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next time.
See you next time. Toodles.